We're all so busy living our lives, and then suddenly something cuts through that, something often very unexpected.
Paediatric trauma call, 15 minutes.
A 71-year-old female with 2 stab wounds to the back.
He was found to be in traumatic cardiac arrest.
I can't feel any pulses. We're at St George's Hospital in Tooting.
Yeah, 24 hours, 7 days a week. I love that question. What's your opening hours?
St George's, London. One of Britain's busiest A&E departments, under more pressure than ever.
So do you want to watch, darling, or do you want to look away?
This is the worst day ever.
You never know what's coming in, and you just have to be ready for anything.
Gas canisters exploded, 15% burns to hands, face.
In a world of uncertainty, we see a life-changing event.
I'm at A&E, I need her to get out of here, please.
When patients come in, something takes over.
I'll be fine. I'm going to be very fine.
A place where life,
Give me an A, give me an E.
love,
Okay, good lad, well done.
and loss unfold every single day.
Did you enjoy the Queen's birthday yesterday?
I watched the football.
All the patients you're about to see were treated in just one 24-hour period.
Don't worry.
We get to see people who love one another in loads of different ways.
Yes.
And I think you can give someone the best care in the world, but really what they want is to hold the hand of the person that they love and for them to tell them that they're going to be okay.
You're my hero.
Code red female trauma call to resus. That's a code red female trauma call to resus.
This lady's approximately 85 years old. She's been hit by a motorbike, not sure what speed, but she's been thrown at least 5 metres off the road.
In charge of resus today is consultant Paul.
OK, so let's get her off the scoot first. We want a big drain, like a 28 or a 32. I mean, when resus is busy, it could potentially become quite chaotic.
So the left's the more important one, so do that one first.
And it's my job to maintain some order within that.
So she's got a big splenic bleed that's bleeding to death at the moment.
Paul, how much blood?
Just another unit slowly.
I had no thoughts of going into medicine or anything like that. Neither of my parents had been doctors. OK, are we ready to go? Have we got more blood with us?
St George's Resus.
Through being a junior doctor, I kind of realised that I really did like the excitement and the intensity.
All right, are we good to go?
It's very stressful, but my dad, he always wanted you to do your very best, and if you didn't, then he'll tell you.
A&E St George's. Yeah.
St George's deal with over 2,300 major trauma cases every year.
All right, Sierra, thank you. Bye.
A 40-year-old cyclist is being transferred from another hospital after being involved in an accident during a bike race.
Oh, hi, can I talk to Paul, please?
Hi, it's Paul.
Hi, it's Steph. Are you expecting someone from Queen Mary's as a trauma? It's a 40-year-old man, abdo pain, query spleen injury. Blood pressure's 102, GCS 15. There'll be about 15 minutes.
Yeah. Cheers, thanks, mate. Thanks, bye.
So there's at least one more trauma call coming.
People who take cycling seriously can get up a really high speed.
Okay,
Where's that one going?
Well, three's going to the wards. This one can go into free.
Okay.
If they come off that bike, they've got very little protection. So if there's been lots of bikes that have collided with each other, then some of those injuries could definitely be life-threatening.
The the cyclist's fiancé was in Italy when she heard about the accident from their friend JD.
He texted me just before the race saying he was feeling really, really good, and you know, sort of he was up and hoping that he was going to get a real good top 10. I had a call from JD, and he said, you know, are you sitting down? And he said, well, Stu's had a really bad accident. One of, you know, I think about 10 or 15 guys actually got brought down in this crash.
Cyclist is going into 8th.
Stu was, I think, probably over the bike. And I think JD just instantly realised just how severe it was.
Yeah.
He was involved in a cycle race. The person in front of him came off the cycle on the bend.
Yeah.
So all 5 of them have gone forward, including Stuart.
Yeah.
So he's hit himself on the left side, but the main problem is this kidney pain, so the left kidney.
Right.
There is bruising and a lot of swelling. So when we've assessed him, his blood pressure was 102 over 62.
Right, let's just get on with the primary survey.
Ready, steady, and slide.
Just going to listen to your chest, okay? I'm just going to breathe in and out, okay? Abdomen, tender.
So, what do we think about the neck?
Can you lift up your chin for me?
It'll be a head to pelvis scan. With left-sided back or tummy pain, you're thinking about the organs in that area that could be damaged, such as the spleen or the kidney. And either of those can bleed a lot.
Oh, God. Oh. We're worried about this.
Yeah, I'm worried about him.
They're ready and scan now.
Great.
Right, OK.
So, you know, within 5-10 minutes, we should know if there's a big bleeding thing.
Should be fine to go.
I knew it was bad. His blood was so low, and I think that's where they wouldn't let him out of hospital.
Yeah, if you get the doors.
And I thought I was going to lose him.
Ready, steady, slide.
40-year-old Stuart has been brought to A&E after being involved in a high-speed bike crash this morning.
They all piled into each other, and he essentially seems to have come off and hit the left side of his head and the whole of the left side of his body.
Stuart was probably the most charismatic lunatic I've ever met in my life. He had about 10 bikes. He was always on the road.
Who's this one? This is the cyclist chap?
This is a cyclist chap.
Stuart was born in Johannesburg. He used to say that his mum used to just let him go, you know, ride in Johannesburg. He would go off for like 3 or 4 hours into the mountains and just ride his bike. He'd always had this romantic view of the Tour de France, and I think that he visioned, you know, himself sort of like cycling the big climbs of Europe.
He's had his head done.
Okay.
He's about to have his abdo pelvis, chest abdo pelvis.
When I first met him, I just fell in love with him instantly, and like I couldn't speak to him, and I had a cup of tea, and the cup of tea just fell. I looked at him and I ran away, and I literally did, and I was thinking, oh my God, that was a pathetic kind of introduction to somebody I really like. And then I didn't see him for about another year, and all I thought about him for that year, so that was in 2008, I just thought, oh, you know, I'll do everything to sort of like meet up with him. So I thought, right, get into racing, do all the things that, you know, sort of I never ever thought I was going to do. About a year later, we started talking, and that evening he said, do you want to go to the cinema? And then we went to the pub and we got absolutely hammered. And we chatted till, you know, God knows what time in the morning. And you just knew that we were going to be together forever. He raced every single weekend. He just had a passion, I think, to be on high adrenaline and to take things to the limit.
Oh, he has, hasn't he? And he's injured his kidney as well.
Oh my God.
That's a big bleed. It's the kidney that's bleeding. It's definitely bleeding. 100 million%.
A&E, can I help?
We were so close to losing today.
Bruv, our total was not much at all, but our bowling attack is fucking sick.
Our bowling attack is solid. Solid.
Look, I can bend it a bit now, watch. Oh, fucking hell.
There you are, my darling.
Did you want a little rum of it?
No, thanks. I'm saving myself for my Carlsberg special.
Hello, urgent care, Declan speaking.
Oh, I think you've come through to the wrong part. This is the urgent care centre.
Working in the urgent care centre is emergency care practitioner Declan.
Oh, gosh. I don't even know the number of the hospital.
I knew I wanted to get into it from an early age. I was quite nosy at school.
With your symptoms, I wouldn't be surprised if they said that you needed to be assessed.
I used to feign illness in school so that I could get to the medical room. Just if somebody else was there, I'd be like, what's going on with you?
Do you know the only other mammal in the world to have a midwife?
God.
A whale. I don't think the whale's going...
I used to be a bit of a class clown, a bit of an attention seeker.
Who have you got with you?
My beloved.
Can I call him beloved?
You can.
No, not you.
He's going that way. What do I call you, sir?
Sir. Sir, what do you call me?
You, sir?
I did be calling him beloved for 60 years, so I'm entitled.
So, my name's Declan. I'm one of the training ECPs. What's brought you down today?
Well, I had a boil on my neck a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
I'm afraid I have this old ugly thing now.
OK. You got any allergies to anything?
There was an allergy to something. My tongue swelled up.
Right.
And gave me a right old stuff. Right. I have a bit of everything.
Is this your medication?
Yeah.
Oh, you bought a list for me. Lovely.
Well, I just had it on the mantelpiece, so I thought.
Elderly patients, very complex. They, we're living for longer.
What do you take warfarin for?
For the old heart.
Is it irregular?
Yes, it's irregular.
I do love the elderly. They come with some incredible stories.
How many years have you been married? 60. 61. What's at 60? Is it Ruby?
Ruby.
Ruby. What did you do?
We probably had a row or two, but...
I know how important relationships are, especially how long you've known that relationship has gone on for, where it's taken them, what they've experienced together.
Do you smoke? Ever smoke?
No. He tried to make me when I was 16, but I wasn't having anything.
Do you drink alcohol?
He tried to make me drink brandy, too.
Maybe he thought you were boring.
But God love him, he never got on.
Then we got married, and I didn't have to...
And then he tried to make me stop drinking the brandy.
OK, right, let's have a little look.
Very, very sore. Do you feel a lump on the knee there?
A bit of a lump, yeah. Mm. It might be an abscess, it might be something else that we need to pay a bit more attention to. Give me a moment, I'm gonna speak to my colleague.
Right.
Back in a moment.
Do you be sorry for me sometimes when you're looking at me?
No, you're looking very well. You're still very beautiful, Rick. You are. No kidding.
Paul, that patient has kidney injury.
Cyclist Stuart has been brought back to resus after CT scans revealed an internal bleed in his kidney.
I said get a Belmont down here in case we have to convert it.
What's his pressures at the moment?
Blood pressure's about 105 systolic.
So can you call blood bank and put out for a packed feed?
Yep.
Registrar Emily has ordered blood in case his pressure drops and causes further damage to his internal organs.
Let's put an arterial lining and run another gas off.
Stuart, I'm going to try and pop a little line in your wrist so we can measure your blood pressure without having to keep putting that tight band going up and down. I will try and do my best for you, OK?
Yeah, thank you.
Stuart's friend JD has arrived in A&E.
So here he is. If you want to go around that side, because we're just fiddling with this art line.
So the sister told me that you've got a bleeding kidney.
No, great.
So he came off his bicycle while he was in a cycle race.
Urology doctor Wayne has come to assess the extent of Stuart's internal bleeding.
Hi. Hello, hi.
Hi.
Now, the scan showed the kidney on the left-hand side is bleeding. Now, we need to deal with this for sure. The best way to preserve as much of the remaining kidney as possible is for the X-ray doctor. They just block off specifically that branch of the blood vessel that's bleeding. But the rest of the kidney, hopefully in that case, then we can keep it alive and save it. If you have any change of symptoms in the meantime while we are arranging for this procedure, or if you suddenly start to become a bit more critical, then we need to think of plan B. But I hope we don't need to go to that stage.
Thanks so much.
No worries. I'll come back and see you later. No worries.
Oh, lose a kidney? I can't believe it.
Stuart's fiancée Tracy is in Italy and has been informed of his accident.
TC called me.
Yeah.
When we were
Was she freaking out?
No.
I just don't want her to freak out. She mustn't change any of her plans.
She won't do.
No, please don't. Just tell her, it's all in hand.
He always put everyone else first before him. Stuart proposed on my 40th birthday, actually. We'd gone down to Wales in Afan on mountain biking. And as I was going on the path, there was this big banner. And it said, "Hey you, I think you're kind of cool." And I'm thinking, the advertising on the mountain bike trails in Wales are going really up this year. They really got it right. And then turned around the next kind of hairpin. And it says, "Hey you," on one. "I think you're kind of cool," on the next one. "Tracy Corbett, will you marry me?" And as I got down to the sort of Tracy Corbett, will you, and I'm by this stage, I just broke down. And there was Stuart sitting under a tree, holding a ring. Well, actually, I think he was holding this because he didn't actually get the ring. There's the ring. But he was holding my necklace and sort of saying, would you marry me? And I haven't looked back since.
So what's your thoughts on the EU? Do you know enough about it?
No.
I think that was the big problem.
I don't know, Dad.
Gwen's new album is fantastic. Really good.
No one cares.
They do care. Really good album.
I don't care about Gwen.
So you do realise that is a deal breaker for me. I'm trying to make you a fan.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, because you've got bad taste in music. If it hasn't got a gun in it and a rapper saying, "Yeah, mum, you know what we're saying," you're not interested.
Basically, yeah.
You okay?
I think we were over there, yeah, A&E.
Hello, St George's.
201. Yeah.
An 83-year-old woman is being rushed to St George's after collapsing at home after experiencing dizziness. Her son Stephen is accompanying her in the ambulance.
I was sitting with her watching the television. Mum just hadn't got the energy to go upstairs. So she let go of the stair rail and just slumped backwards. It's like she'd lost the strength in her legs.
It'll be here in 5 minutes. The only one really we can move is this
Four's
page.
going to CDU.
got an actual nurse living opposite, and she said, I'm not happy with your mum's responses because she just seems very, very sleepy. I just knew that we really had to get Mum to St George's. I was worried.
On through? 1, 2, 3. Over you go, my lovely. There we are.
Thank you, guys. So this is Alicia's. Since Thursday, she has had increased drowsiness and confusion. Normally, she'd be chatting away in a two-way conversation, completely coherent. Now she can answer sort of very direct questions. Her son, who is her main carer, said that she had breakfast this morning, but then had an episode of projectile vomiting and has had a tweet since.
Just going to get a bit tight around your arm and do your blood pressure, okay?
Doctors are concerned that Alicia Jean's symptoms could be a sign of an infection.
If you have a patient who we think have got an infection, and not only that, we think they've got something called sepsis, which is where their body is overreacting to the infection and they're becoming very unwell and their organs are starting to fail. So your heart might fail, your lungs might fail, your kidneys might fail. And obviously if those organs are not working well, then you've got a high risk of death. So it's important for us to identify it early and to intervene.
We ought to get a chest X-ray here, please.
Seeing Mum, I was concerned because she was going downhill. Didn't really know what to expect, really.
You can get your son to come in and see you.
Alicia Jean was brought to A&E by ambulance after collapsing at home.
Just round this way.
Her son Stephen and his wife Scylla had been waiting to see her.
Hi, Mummy Jay.
The doctor's, it's just on the X-ray. Doctor's seen us just pop to another area. When she comes back, she'll have a chat with you. Yeah. All right.
All right, Jean.
All right, Mum.
Hello. Oh, you're right.
It's all right. You're in the best place now, OK? They're going to take good care of you.
Hearing a little bit about you from the paramedics, but always good to hear it from you, because I know you look after your mum. Just sort of what's been going on over the past sort of 3-4 days, if that's OK. I was just reading her last clinic letter, so...
Basically, Mum has kind of deteriorated in that she's not really very communicative.
And I said she had one episode of vomiting today, is that?
Yes.
So, I mean, we're working along the lines that there's an infection somewhere.
Yeah.
Which I'll wait for her blood test to come back. So if there's a sign of infection on the blood test, then I think we won't do a scan of the head. But if they're normal, then I think we will, because in case there's anything else going on that's causing her to be sort of a bit drowsier. I'll be back when we've got more news.
OK.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right, no worries.
It's all right. They're going to work out what's wrong and get you better, all right? And
Try and get some sleep.
Mum grew up in Sierra Leone, West Africa.
It's all right. We're here, all right? But you try and get some sleep, all right? And relax.
She originated from quite a wealthy family. Her morning routine would be a servant would knock on her door and wake her up. Madam J, as she used to be called by the servants, Madam J.
Did she like being called Madam?
Oh, she loved it. She loved it because it was this thing about status. You call her Madam J, well, it's almost queen-like sort of thing, yeah.
You're normally a lot more talkative, aren't you? You're a lot more talkative.
She'd worked as a teacher, where she's met her husband, Peter, my dad. And they clicked, but they were both from different classes. Dad was totally working class. As a kid, he'd have to carry buckets of water from the well back to his house before he could set off for school. I think the idea of coming to England was to make a better life for themselves. Dad came over to England first of all, Started working in J. Lyons cake shops, and then she came to England in the early 60s.
Hello, look, you opening your eyes up.
I think she was assuming that when she touches down in England, she's going to have servants running around her like they were back in Sierra Leone, but it just wasn't like that. She had to really work her fingers hard to find employment.
He said, is Mum normally like this? I said, no. I said, normally she gives you the 3rd degree. It gives you a proper interrogation.
She went to the actual place where Dad was working and she thought, well, I'm not going to be plate washing. If anything, I'd like to do their accounts or do their books. Her thing was very much like Tony Blair's saying many years later of education, education, education. It was, come on, Steve, pay attention to your books. You'll go far if you do well with your education. You just didn't get on the wrong side of, because you know that the lash of her tongue was equivalent to a whip. So...
Was she strict with you?
Oh, she was, yes, yeah.
Bruv, I literally went like that. I checked it.
Yeah, it was a cream check shot. You just went... Grong.
Bruv, man can still bowl like this, legit. Nothing's gonna stop me from lifting that trophy, G.
Bruv, you can't bowl.
I'd love to lie down there and have a lovely sleep. If they only had a double. I don't want any rumble in the jungle.
Would you like one?
No, thanks, I'm all right. Thank you very much.
Rita is with her husband, Jerry, and is having an abscess treated by Nurse Declan.
Right then, the plan of action is we're going to give you some antibiotics. On Monday at 9 o'clock in the morning, you need to return to the Rose Centre.
Oh, I know the one
You know
down
the
at
one?
the door.
Yeah, let's take that out. You smell lovely.
It's my Irish perfume.
Ah, where in Ireland are you from?
I'm from a place called County Cavan.
My family are from Clare.
In our family, I lasted like a head count a few years ago, and just on my mum's side, there's 120 of us.
My name is Declan.
Declan, that's a nice...
Very Irish name.
That's a nice thing.
Means Red Warrior.
I came out when I was 14 in Catholic school. Yeah.
I've got a little plaster for you.
Yes, I think. I don't bleed very much.
It was an accident coming out. I just said that like kids at that age, they're always going, oh, you're gay, you're gay. And I thought, oh my God, they know. So I was like, divert attention. No, I fancy Zoe, and Zoe was a friend of mine. And at that age, actually, fancying Zoe, who was a ginger, was worse than actually coming out as gay. So I was like, everybody's like, you fancy Zoe? I was like, oh my God, no, I'm gay.
There is antibiotics, okay? Take one 4 times a day.
We're good friends, me and Zoe. In fact, Zoe's one of my best friends now.
Bear with me, because I just need to finish writing your notes, and you need to take these.
Yeah.
So sit tight. I'll be as quick as possible.
Thank you very much.
I thought, well, now everyone at school knows, let's just get home and tell Mum. And she wasn't happy at first, but that was because she was scared I was going to get bullied, and I was bullied. I was bullied at school for a bit. I was in a Catholic school, what's going to happen?
So that's his scan. That's the smashed kidney. That's blood around it. Yeah.
Is there anyone that you need us to phone or speak to?
Thank you. My friends.
Okay, cool.
When I heard about Stuart's accident, it flooded all the memories back of when I'd had an accident as well when I was doing a mountain bike race over in Europe. We'd had really severe weather the night before, and we'd been warned about this one part of the race where you ride along a ledge and you have to cross a waterfall. And I'd sort of got off the bike to walk off this real sort of like small ledge, got back on the bike, and as I went down to clip in, I literally rode straight off the mountain. And as I free fell through the waterfall, I had enough time to say this was it, this was the end. And it's such a strange feeling, everything just went black. I remember just lying there when I was actually in the bed, and I'd broken my back in 2 places, and I fractured my leg and fractured my arm.
And how are you feeling?
It's just the pain sort of creeping up again. But
Creeping up again, OK,
yeah.
We'll get you some more pain relief now.
Stu, he had just started a brand new job and dropped everything. Literally got on the next plane, drove halfway across Italy, and just to make sure that I was OK. When he walked through the door, he broke down. He just, he just totally broke down. And I think seeing him break down was the first time I realised just how serious the accident was, really. I came back to St George's. Sort of the day that I got let out of St George's was the day of the Olympics in 2012. And he wheelchaired me down to Richmond Park, and we saw Bradley Wiggins go past. And I just thought, I have to get well. It's the most incredible feeling when you have to relearn to walk again, let alone turn a pedal. So you're like, oh God, it's the most frightening thing. And Stuart really, really helped me get back on the bike. And you just kind of, those moments will stay with me forever.
JD.
You all right, dude?
I need something, dude.
OK. I'll ask for some.
Please.
What's going on?
Just pain.
Where?
Same place, just...
In your tummy?
Yeah.
OK, all right.
Oh, man, I just wanted to stop. Like I can't breathe.
That's going to have to wait, because he's got a life, he's bleeding. Come down to the trauma. Cheers, mate.
If you're bleeding from somewhere, you can bleed from either your kidney or your spleen, or both. And if the bleeding's not controlled, then you could bleed to death.
Who can we speed things up to get him over, because they're ready for him now?
Stuart is being taken for emergency surgery, where doctors will attempt to stop his internal bleeding.
Do you think you could be, hold that door open for me, Mark?
That's it. Squeeze my end, yeah.
Earlier today, Alicia Jean was brought to St George's, accompanied by her son Stephen and his wife Scylla. Doctors are concerned she has sepsis and are taking early precautions to combat the infection.
I think we're covering for all bases at the moment.
I'm just going to have some more antibiotics, OK?
Oh, you're not comfortable, are you? See if I can find a pillow.
Both my sister and I really put our heads down and went far with our education. That's when I met Scylla.
Got your eyes open, you can see I'm here, all right? And so Scylla. Scylla's here as well, because Scylla's worried about you.
Yeah.
Look.
You're giving us a fright.
Well, you are giving us a fright.
I was 36. We met in Clapham, at the south side. She was wearing, it looked like a leopard skin top. She just grabbed me and we both started dancing. I thought to myself, yes, very nice.
Yeah, you're feeling a lot more with it now, aren't you? There you go.
I remember going back and telling Dad, oh, Dad, I've met this really nice lady. I think I love her to bits, Dad, sort of thing. And his response was, oh, yeah, yeah. not very approving sort of thing. You'll get over it. That was how he was. Yeah, you'll get over it. It's just a fad you're going through. Don't worry, you'll get over it. That was his response. That's how they both were. They only accepted girls who were from Sierra Leone origins. I think I was feeling to myself, well, really, racism like this shouldn't really exist to that extent in this day and age. As weird as it is to say, the most vicious racism was actually coming from mum and dad. Because white people seeing us together, absolutely no problem. I think I felt more at home with Scylla's family than I did with parts of my own family. I think one of the funniest things which I found was Scylla's youngest sons thought that I was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
For people to not even give me a chance, I think I found that hard. First time I'd felt anything like that in my life. My family had all accepted Steve and they liked him and, you know. It was really, really hard for both of us, but I think it was especially hard for him.
Scylla said, you're going to have to make a choice now. It's going to either be me or your parents. In the end, I just said, well, look, that's it. And we're not, Mum and Dad and me are not going to see each other for a while.
I got 5 wickets today, by the way.
Oh.
And 49.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Normal day at the office. Nah, yeah, it was a pretty good day.
Boo, why does my heart go boo? Why does my heart go boo? Boo. 'Cause I love you.
You look after your beloved.
I look after him, yes. Without him, I have nothing.
I hope I've got 61 years of marriage to reflect upon one day.
Yes. Hey, well.
My mum said, tell me again when you're 18. So I remember when I was 18, I said, well, just to let you know, I'm still gay. And she's like, oh, I know. She's welcomed all my relationships and been there when they've gone wrong and, you know, been happy for when they've gone right.
Lovely to meet you. Take care, all right?
God bless.
Get
and
home
thanks,
safe.
And
Bye-bye.
thanks for your kindness.
All right.
Her name is Alicia with an E.
Alicia Jean has come to A&E after collapsing at home. Doctors are still trying to get to the root cause of her symptoms.
Try and have a little sleep.
I get it from you, don't I? Not being able to relax.
I think it's been extremely tough on Scylla, but something good has come out of it.
Oh, you're right. You okay? Stephen started to get ill and obviously had lots and lots of tests which found this liver disease. It left him very, very weak, about 6.5 stone in weight. And I had to make the decision to tell his mum and dad. As a mum, I thought, would I want to know that my son was that ill? And I thought, well, yeah, I would. Even if, you know, it comes from somebody I don't like, I'd want to know. And I thought they had the right to know. And then things just got better and better after that.
Hey, not comfortable.
She got used to me in the end.
What was it like to be accepted?
It was lovely. It was lovely. Yeah, I actually felt and do feel now a part of the family.
Dr. Harriet now has the results of Alicia Jean's chest X-ray and blood tests.
Her chest X-ray doesn't look like there's a raging chest infection on pneumonia.
Okay.
We've covered with some of the antibiotics if there's any infection with it. So she's
yeah.
had very sort of broad antibiotics to cover pretty much anything.
Everything, yeah.
Then the other question I was going to have, I know she's known to the oncology team here. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct, yes.
So I'm just going to have a chat with our on-call oncology team.
Yes, yeah. Thank you very much. Mum started getting ill just before Easter last year. There was this growth on Mum's tummy.
You okay?
They discovered that there was this cancerous mass on her tummy. We were sort of made aware that there's not a lot that could be done. In an instant, all that hardship, all that had gone. I just wished I was like some of these superheroes who could just magic that tumour away. I just wanted to make everything go away and make it better for her.
I think it was a very late discovery. It was only diagnosed earlier this year. So, yeah.
Hello? Hello? No, cover yourself. Cover yourself.
I just wanted to do the best for her.
It looks like we have got a bed in the medical ward. Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, it's brilliant.
I know.
Alicia Jean will now go to a ward for close monitoring.
I think it's really hard for doctors and nurses because we know the worst things that can happen in those situations. My dad, he'd gone to work one day, gone to the train station, and the train was cancelled, so he'd run home and then developed some chest pain when he got home, and then got in the car to drive to work, and then crashed his car into a fence and his heart had stopped. They told me that he was undergoing CPR, but I know that that's likely to have a poor outcome, so I was already expecting the worst. It's a tragic loss. I was taking some exams the next day, so my first reaction was not to do them because I wasn't in a good place. But then I thought of what my dad would want me to do, and he would have wanted me to do it. I think time's a good healer. Every moment is really important. You never know if something bad is going to happen to you or a family member today, tomorrow. So make the most of today.
I'm gonna buy a paper doll to call my home. Why does my heart go blue? Tiddly-boo.
I remember going to the hospital and look at him, and he just looked so ill. He was so yellow. And I thought I was going to lose him.
It's when you're having a bad time that you realise how much people care about each other or how much you care about someone. I definitely realised how much Trace meant to me. I don't want a life without her in my life.
You know, I think between us, we both brought the best out of each other. We'll always be riding our bikes. I think we'll always live life in the fast lane.
After the hospital, she went to the nursing home and she just got frailer from there on.
When I came into the room, you could see her eyes actually widen up when she saw me. So I knew that she'd recognised it was me who was in there. I basically spent an hour just holding her hand, rubbing her hands. So I was just quietly talking to her, because I know she would have liked that. I think it was a Sunday that Mum sadly had passed around 7 o'clock in the morning.
I can remember when Dad was 80, they came to us for dinner after all what we'd been through, and it was special. It was special.
Georgia ZD, 71-year-old lady, JD, that's been stabbed in the back.
71?
Pretty much just said, your mum's been stabbed.
Georgia ZD.
Someone's gone on a mad rampage. Your mum's been stabbed.
What happened to these 3 women to lead to such horrific injuries?
Janet?
She's got no peripheral pulse.
Janet? Janet?